Well, Moses was invited up onto the mountain where the Lord was going to meet with him. And it says in Exodus 24:17, the sight of the glory of the Lord was like devouring fire on the top of the mountain, in the eyes of the children of Israel. And Moses went into the midst of the cloud and got him up into the cloud. And Moses was in the mount 40 days and 40 nights. Can you imagine how terrifying that was for the people sitting there watching that as Moses just walks into this cloud of a devouring fire on the top of the mountain? And it says there that God gave him instructions on how to build the tabernacle. And he says in verse 9, according to all that I show thee after the pattern of the tabernacle and the pattern of all the instruments thereof, even so shall ye make it. Now we come to Acts chapter 7 and verse 44, and there Stephen is talking to the people of his day, and he says, our fathers had the tabernacle of witness in the wilderness, as he had appointed, speaking unto Moses that he should make it according to the fashion that he had seen. God showed Moses the heavenly tabernacle on the top of the mountain. Moses observed that tabernacle and came down with instructions on how to build one that was a pattern, a copy of the one that was in heaven. And so in Hebrews chapter 8 and verse 1, it says, now the things which we have spoken, this is the sum. We have such an high priest who is set on the right hand of the throne of the majesty in heavens, a minister of the sanctuary and of the true tabernacle, which the Lord pitched and not man. That's the one that's in heaven, not the one that was built here on earth. And he says, for every high priest is ordained to offer gifts and sacrifices, wherefore it is of necessity that this man have somewhat also to offer. So our high priest is going to take an offering, just like the high priest of Moses' day. He says, for if he were on earth, he should not be a priest, seeing that there are priests that offer gifts according to the law. Those are Levitical priests, and Jesus is not from the tribe of Levi. And he says that these priests who serve unto the example and shadow of heavenly things, as Moses was admonished of God when he was about to make the tabernacle. For see, saith he, that thou make all things according to the pattern showed to thee in the mount. Moses saw a pattern of the heavenly tabernacle. He came down with instructions on how to build one here. But the one that they built here was an example of the one that was in heaven, and it was a shadow of the one that was in heaven. A shadow is not the substance. If we were to go out today around noon and the sun was nice and high, and I were to show you this shadow of a tree, well, that's not the substance. It takes a tree to cast the shadow. And so the example is that the heavenly tabernacle is what Moses saw, and he came with instructions on how they could build one that was an example and a shadow. But it tells us in chapter 9 of Hebrews, verse 11, but Christ being come an high priest of good things to come by a greater and more perfect tabernacle. That's the one in heaven. Not made with hands, that is to say, not of this building, neither by the blood of goats and calves, but by his own blood he entered in once into the holy place, having obtained eternal redemption for us. For if the blood of bulls and of goats and the ashes of an heifer, sprinkling the unclean, sanctifieth to the purifying of the flesh, how much more shall the blood of Christ, who through the eternal Spirit offered himself without spot to God, purge your conscience from dead works to serve the living God? And for this cause he is the mediator of the New Testament, that by means of death, for the redemption of the transgressions that were under the first testament, they which are called might receive the promise of eternal inheritance. Folks, that is the good news of Jesus. He is the mediator of the New Testament. He entered into the tabernacle through a sacrifice. But Aaron would take the blood of bulls, the blood of calves, not Jesus. Jesus offered his own blood so that you and I could attain eternal redemption. That's eternal life. I hope that you know Jesus. I hope that you trust Jesus. I hope that you understand that we have a new covenant that is built on better promises. The promises that we can have eternal life through Jesus Christ. God bless you. Hope you have a great day.